Namaste, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Blooming Lotus Healing Channel. My name is Jikara, and I'm a spiritual healing facilitator. And today we are about to experience the new moon coming up on Wednesday. We got the new moon in Libra. Today is September 30th. And today is Monday. So happy Moon Day. And I want to start a new or restart a new ritual that I used to do before when I started the video. So we're gonna go ahead and start weaving in more of that ceremonial opening for these videos. So if you would like to participate in that, I invite you to step in and connect with your heart space and connect with yourself. Let's take this moment to really focus inward and allow ourselves to become present with ourselves, with our bodies, with our mental body, with our emotional body. Where is it that we are existing in the space? And at this moment, I'm going to take this moment to thank all of our ancestors, ancestors of the land. Thank you for allowing us to have a prosperous and fulfilling life on this land. I want to thank our ancestors for being here, for supporting us. I want to thank all the four elements: air, water, earth, and fire for being present within or without. I want to take this moment to thank the spirit of psilocybin, Teonanaka. Thank you for being here, for supporting us and giving us the guidance that we need to be able to move through this life with ease and compassion. I call upon protection in this space, and that all that is shared here may be shared from a place of love and may be received from a place of love. And so it is, Aho. Thank you. So I want to offer you this beautiful incense of Ruda, cleansing the space and supporting. And today we are going to pull some cards for the new moon, to get some guidance for the new moon. And I am going to pull from the Spirit of Psilocybin Oracle deck. And if you're not familiar with this deck, I want to invite you to go over to my Instagram account for the deck, which is the Psilocybin Oracle. And I'm getting ready to create a Kickstarter for this so that I can actually get these cards on your hand in your hand. So it's basically ready. I just right now need to be able to collect funds so that I can actually print it. I am I'm basically doing this by myself. I'm not, I'm not backed up by any publisher. So I'm self-publishing, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'd love for you to support in any way that you can, whether it is by sharing these readings, or by sharing this Instagram, or even by supporting by donating and being part of the crowdfunding that I'm going to be posting soon. I'd love for you to support and then also receive this beautiful deck, which is definitely just such a gift. And this is actually not the completed deck. I had another download of cards, so it's going to be a total of 80 cards that are going to be part of the deck, and it's going to be really robust and powerful for you to connect with the essence of the spirit. So yeah, so I wanted to invite you to share and like this video and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. And let's go ahead and dive into the spirit of psilocybin messages. So I want to take this moment to thank the spirit of psilocybin, and if you could give us a guidance for the collective in regards to this new moon in Libra, as well as the eclipse. What do we need to be focusing on at this moment at the collective? What do we need to be focusing on for this new moon in Libra? Thank you. Thank you. Do you have any more messages for us? Thank you. Anything else? Thank you, Spirit. Is there anything else you would like to share with us for the collective? What other messages would you like to share for us? Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna start first with the cards that came out now, and then we'll get some additional um we'll get some expansion there. But for right now, what I'm seeing here is that the spirit of psilocybin is, first of all, inviting us to connect to the light medicine, to connect to the joy of our life. So maybe at this time, because of the new moon, and also because of the process of the eclipse, things might be coming up, especially if you have Libra in any part of your chart. You could potentially be experiencing some upheaval in some specific aspects of your life, and because of this, we are being invited to connect to the joy of life. How can you bring more dance? How can you bring more excitement? How can you bring more laughter into your life so that you can offset some of the stressors that have been, presenting themselves at this time? Interesting enough, we have a Cosmic Father card, which has come up before for the collective. And I feel like this is really coming forth because it's a calling when we're looking at Libra and the energy of Libra, which is all about balancing that energy of the masculine. We do live in a world where the masculine is really the one that is on the foreground, right? And so, how can we bring that balance, right? How can we start rebalancing that energy of the masculine? Are we also within that energy of the masculine? Is it balanced, right? Because the within the energy of the masculine, you can have the positive and the negative aspects, right? So how are we focusing our energy, and how are we expressing that energy, and is it balanced even within that? So a lot of times we talk about rebalancing the energy with the feminine energy, but also within the energy itself. We can really go deeper into rebalancing that energy within the expression of that energy. Like we all know, we live in this planet which it operates in polarity. So every expression of energy is going to have that positive and then the negative aspect. So we want to take a look at that, right? And then so sometimes that could look like, toxic masculinity, or even expressing, especially for women, also like over expressing the masculine part of us, and not allowing the masculine to express a little bit more, um, subtle, right? And then like allowing that energy to be more subtle. And so it can show up in many ways, in different ways for each one of you. But just notice, pay attention, where is it in your life that you are leaning in more to that masculine energy, and where are you, and where could you potentially bring a little bit more of a balance to it, whether it is within the expression of the masculine, or whether it is bringing or weaving in a little bit of the feminine energy into that expression. Now, the other thing that is coming up here is the card of inertia. Now, this card is important to recognize because we have had this card come up a couple times for the collective. And when we are looking at this card, there's this, and when we look at the collective in general, um, there's so much resistance to change. There's so much resistance to seeing things from a different perspective. There's so much resistance to being able to put ourselves in a different place, right? Like, so that's something that's happening at the collective right now, where there's so much resistance, right? And the invitation here by the spirit of psilocybin is to really connect to what parts of us do we feel that resistance in, and how can we bring a little bit more flow? How can we bring a little bit more shift and change? We don't necessarily have to do a 180, right? But can we start exploring different perspectives and different ways of seeing the world or relating with one another that can potentially allow us to embrace a little bit of change, right? So I think that a lot of times when we're looking at this resistance energy, we think that we have to do like a 180 at one point. And it's the message that I'm getting here is that it doesn't have to be that way. It can be very small steps that we take towards making shifts, right? And so being patient with that as well, and allowing yourself to also be patient with others. So whether it is that you're trying to make a change in your own life, in your own personal life, or whether it is that you're witnessing that resistance in others or in the collective, just recognizing that we get to lean into a little bit of patience and compassion, knowing that change is not easy, right? And then also, and we when we align this with the cosmic father energy, we're looking at that masculine energy where it can be very, like, that structure can be very, very, um uh let's say, very set in their ways, right? Like, it's a structure that doesn't want to move, right? Like, this is the way that we've been doing things forever, and this is not how we're gonna, we're not gonna change this now because this is how we've been doing it. So I feel that in the energy of the collective, there's this essence of a projection of this resistance, so that we can start recognizing, instead of getting triggered inside, so we can start recognizing this resistance and start looking at how can we see within ourselves where this is being expressed, and how are we contributing to that resistance as well, because it's always a two-way street in the way that we relate to the world, and the way that we relate with ourselves, and the way that we relate with one another. So the spiritual assignment is calling us to really connect with our spirit animals. So it's like, hey, listen, right now it's time for you to not only lean into the joy, right, the joy of life, but also lean into your spirit animal. What spirit animal in your specific arsenal or toolbox? Because I feel like they're kind of like part of our toolbox, right? What spirit animal can you connect to that can potentially bring a little bit more joy, right? And we actually had some messages about spirit animals on the last reading, if I'm not mistaken. So we have some energies that are kind of sticking out to the same thing, and we want to start, recognizing, okay, did I do the work? Did I put the effort to lean into the spirit animals this time around, or did I just, like, listen to the message and then just moved on, right? So looking at that perspective is important, right? And so spirit is saying that if we do all this stuff, right, like the spirit is still starting saying, listen, if you put the effort into seeking that joy in a healthy way, right, and you also put the effort into shifting that resistance to change, right, and also shifting that way that you relate with your masculine energy, and maybe start recognizing that masculine energy can be expressed a little differently, right, then we're going to start seeing a lot of really positive changes as a collective. So whether it is that you are looking at your own expression in your own life, and how this is how is this expressing in your own life, or whether if you're seeing it as a collective, just recognize that this is a really powerful time for you to start making shifts, right? And so also one thing that I wanted to mention too is that during this week, which we are dealing with the new moon and the eclipse, it is usually recommended that you stick to meditation and journaling, and just stay in a space of reflection as much as possible, especially because there could be a lot of energy upheaval that you may experience. So if you feel like you are not in a position to maybe practice your cleansing rituals or whatever that is, then it's okay to take a break, right? It's okay to take a pause. That's what the new moon energy really calls for, is taking that pause so that we can reflect, right? And so I want to invite you to do that. So do you have any parting messages here for us, or anything else you would like to share in regards to the collective? Hmm. So for some of you, you may be called to, whether it is this Sunday or next Sunday, to connect with the energy of the sun. I'm being guided to tell you that for those of you who haven't been out in the sun or connected with the sun, you are going to receive a lot of healing by that, and also you may receive certain news, or projects that you might be feeling like they're not moving forward. If you connect to the energy of the sun and set that intention to even do that on a Sunday, you will be able to heal certain aspects of yourself, or release some aspects of yourself that were keeping you from actually receiving the results that you've been praying for in your project. So keep in mind that if this is something that you do, whether it is via a ritual, or even lighting a candle, a golden candle to connect with the energy of the sun. But what I'm getting here specifically is to go physically outside on a Sunday, get a little bit of sunbathing, get a little bit of connection with the sun, connect with the warmth, connect with that essence, connect with that light, get that energy, because that is actually going to help you heal not only within yourself physically, but also is going to help you heal certain aspects of yourself that may come up throughout this week. So by Sunday, you want to make sure that you do that so that you can release that, give it to the sun, give it away, give it to Mother Earth, and then you will notice that some shifts will happen after that. So that's beautiful. So you don't have to do much, right? You don't have to necessarily go out and do a complete ritual, or you know make two all these efforts, right? Like it's really just go outside, connect with the sun, connect with Sunday's rest, right? Can still connect with that new moon energy of rest, and then allow yourself to just be in your essence, be in your presence, be in the presence of the sun, so that you can receive those light code activations. And then you will notice that whether it is that someone will reach out to you, or whether it is that you will, so for some of you someone will reach out to you, or for some of you you will actually receive downloads of ideas, or even not only ideas to create, but also something like an idea to like a resolution, right? And so that's what I'm seeing here, which goes back to to that energy of the rainbow. So that energy of the rainbow is really powerful, and I think that if you follow this, and you do follow up with your spirit animals, you connect to the light energy medicine, and you allow yourself to lean into that energy of the sun as well. And then think about it, the light medicine is all about the sun too. So it's all about connecting to the light, literally, physically, or also just even by meditation. But in this case, I'm being called to tell you all to go outside and connect with the sun, right? And so that is what I have for this specific reading. I hope that you enjoyed it. I thank you so much for being here, for spending this time with me. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week. And namaste.